Hi. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Naomi, and I've been a part of iArts for 8 journals worth of time. And believe me, for me to finish anything, it seems that it takes me longer than most. Though they say it's about the journey and not the destination, right? Well, what a journey this has been, and is continuing to be. Through iArts, I have learned so much about myself, the things and people that inspire and empower me, the things I don't understand, accepting that I don't have to understand those things, but most importantly, the way that I work as an interdisciplinary artist, which is ever-changing, organic, and highly inspired by nature, spirituality, and healing. If people would have asked me how I got into jewelry, I would say that it was actually an iArts project about anxiety that had inspired me, in which I had made a body chain that simulated anxiety's symptoms based on several other people's experience of it. It was tight around the throat, heavy on the shoulders, and tickling the stomach. Once I had made the piece, I wondered if jewelry could have the opposite effect. Maybe instead be able to induce feelings of joy, power, and self-love, leading to healing, which is something it seemed I was gravely in need of. At the time, I was, like many of us, diagnosed with an anxiety disorder. And so I thought to conduct a bit of an experiment to see whether, in fact, jewelry could affect my well-being in a positive manner. Of course, jewelry is only an object, but if you are to believe in the Latvian and Shinto philosophies, which I had researched for my position paper, then you would know that even inanimate objects are venerated and have souls. So how do you give an object a soul or essence? Well, I believe this is done through stories, sentimentality, and symbolism. Throughout my life, I have continuously been displaced, not having a true nationality and constantly in new situations and places. So jewelry with a message is perfect for me as I can displace them with me. For example, my sun pendant, which was given to me by my parents on my 21st birthday, which my father had gifted my mother at a witch market in Bolivia. The design is a depiction of the Incan creator god by the name of Viracocha. Here is a piece of jewelry with immense sentimental value to me, and to this day I gain strength from its personal symbolism and meaning that it has. So, I know that for me I can gain empowerment by placing meaning within jewelry, and so my next experiment was to see if it could work for others. Since I wanted to delve into the jewelry world, but Corona had hit us pretty unexpectedly, causing goldsmithing courses to be temporarily suspended, I learned about the theoretical part of jewelry in the form of online courses first, where I learned about the jewelry industry, about high-end materials, jewelry styles, and the importance of storytelling when it comes to its value and marketing, gaining an online diploma in jewelry essentials, diamonds, and gemstones, which are a whole other subject altogether, having their esoteric properties that are believed to have healing influences. This was also when I started going to therapy, where I learned about how important it is to be listened to and receive the tools that I needed to become happier within myself, to trust the process, and to become more mindful in taking each step as they come. And so the next step was to finally attend a goldsmithing course, which I applied for in the UK. This fell through because of Brexit, and because I am flexible and immensely lucky, an opportunity to work with a jewelry designer in Latvia by the name of Madara opened up. Latvia was an immensely magical and spiritual experience. Being embraced by the snow and ice had a deeply calming yet exhilarating effect. The people there are, like me, also highly influenced and in touch with nature, often venturing into the forest that meets the Baltic Sea. I learned so much from Madara: how to solder silver, how to file, polish, and how to sculpt designs within wax, letting me make the mistakes I needed to along the way. The first pieces I ever made with her guidance was a sun and moon hairpin and matching earrings, which symbolize the dualism I find within myself and the acceptance of both creating the whole. I also made some other pieces that were inspired by the nature around me, mostly being plants and insects, which I will be selling at the exhibition I will have in Maastricht in May, as a small compensation for the courses I have done and the materials I have used throughout this journey. At some point, it was time to go back home to Portugal. I tried to deliver this project once again, though it was still not complete. It seemed I still had a lot of work ahead of me. I had by this time found 3 participants through family friends that would commission me to make their individualistic pieces, inspired by their stories, imbued with their personal messages and aesthetics. Conducting mindfulness sessions with them to get to know them better and to get a better idea of what to make for each of them, where they were able to open up in sharing their stories, what drives them, gives them empowerment, and the elements that resonate with each of them. After the sessions, I immersed myself in the things of theirs that resonated. For example, for one of the participants' pieces, I delved into the element of water, as that is what gives them peace and power, and resonates deeply within them. I immerse myself within the subject of resonation within my participants to get a better understanding of how I will approach their jewelry piece, trying to fully understand the essence of the element, story, or source of inspiration. My graduation project has developed since then. I have over this last year attended a goldsmithing course in Lisbon, where I learned several more intricate jewelry techniques such as filigree, which is a traditional Portuguese method of making jewelry, and the depositing of wax, which has massively shaped the way in which I make jewelry and has helped me find my own style, which is more organic and detail-oriented. I have also throughout this journey connected with many people who have been interested in participating in this project, especially those with a creative background wanting to learn how to make their own meaningful pieces. I had one day hoped to give workshops for the retreat that my family are starting in the south of Portugal, where I would guide people in making meaningful pieces so that they would have a memento of their stay and their process. It was while I was having a conversation with one of these creative people that made me wonder whether a simple piece made by yourself with your own message imbued with it would be more meaningful than an intricate piece that is made for you by a jewelry designer who has studied what personally resonates. And so I had conducted my first ever workshop in Lisbon, in which we started with a mindfulness session within the lungs of Lisbon, the largest urban forest park in Europe, where guided breathing exercises and introductions were made of the intentions each participant had for their piece. I had asked them all to make a mood board depicting their aesthetics, including inspirations for their piece, 2 weeks prior to the workshop, much like how I start with the individualistic pieces, to have a general idea of what I will be making and the inspirations behind it. I believe this helps to visualize and not become overwhelmed by the final product. Once the introductions and mindfulness session was complete, we made our way back to the workshop location, where I asked them to draw a general idea of the piece they will be making. They had all desired to start off by making a ring. I gave them 30 minutes and expressed how the end product will most likely not be what they have drawn, but that the drawing will help formulate the general shape and form of their piece as a guideline to follow, emphasizing the importance of experimentation and serendipity. That the message and intention is the most important aspect to the workshop, and that the piece will be formed from these intentions and general idea. When everyone had finished their drawings, I proceeded to explain and show the techniques we would be using. One of the techniques included depositing wax to form the shape, which has a more organic aesthetic, while the other was carving and filing the shape out of wax, which has a more intentional feel. I urged them to get to know the new materials and tools and experiment with them. Everyone has their own method of working, and so it's important to get to know the medium yourself by seeing what happens if you melt, carve, saw, or file into it. We spent the entire day making these wax sculptures. Most of the participants made 2 rings, and another even made a ring with matching earring and cuff. I learned a lot through this trial workshop about how people take on a new medium, go through art blocks, and also learned that what might seem logical to me might not be logical to others, and so explaining the complete basics is essential. Throughout the day, I would continuously help and check up on how their pieces are coming along, giving advice or sometimes even taking their piece in my own hands and showing, based on their idea, what they could do to achieve it. I also realized how important a creative background is to this workshop, that participants that want to attend need to have a basic understanding of shape and form. I am so grateful to have been able to guide this workshop because now I know where I need to improve for the next one, which will be conducted during one of the days of my exhibition for up to 5 to 6 people, as I would like to keep it intimate and not overwhelm myself by having too many people present. Already having 4 people for the first workshop, I noticed that it was quite energetically draining for me. And I want everyone to end up with a piece that they will be proud to wear when it's finished. When all of the pieces, including the individualistic ones, have been exhibited and are ready to be given to their wearers, I include the piece's story as a vision of the future, where I try to capture a visualization of what the piece will provide for its wearer. They are all personalized according to the participant's story or message and will also be exhibited in Maastricht. I'm very excited to finally exhibit my work and continue on this journey of sharing these adorements. Thank you for watching and listening.